Good, beautiful morning. It is Friday, May the 20th, 2022. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And I want to welcome you to this edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. If you've been following this channel, then you know that this channel is all about the ascension movement, the awakening of the human individual and the human collective to its divine nature, which is the function of creation. The nature of each of you is that you are a creator, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. First, I want to say welcome to the 7 Elohim today, who are going to discuss the concept of training your animal body. And when they came in, they said this is a function that each and every human has the capacity and the obligation and responsibility to fulfill the idea that your body is an instrument through which you can articulate a divine expression of yourself. Your body was not designed to be that which governed your life, nor your choices, nor your actions. Your body is an animal. You must understand this for what follows to make sense. When those dear ones descended into matter to explore and experience the act of creation on this dimension, in the beginning, it was fairly easy for thought and form were all but instantaneous in their effects upon time, space, and matter. Through the gradual diminishment of awareness becoming subjective to matter and the sense and stimulation of matter, the perception of one's divinity slowly faded into the background, and the existing conditions of matter began to overcome, to rise above the very soul that came here to learn to govern it. If you understand that your body is just an animal, that it is an instrument that is by nature designed to be subjective to you, in all regards, in thought, in emotion, in action, your body is designed to be subjective to you, the one that inhabits it. In the confusion that ensued as sense took over intelligence, as many became subjugated to the excitation of the senses, confusion ensued as to how to alter and change conditions when one is subjective to them. The existing forms of governance and leadership came about in an attempt to find a way to return back to divinity, to be guided back to it. But confusion has continued to be what has followed. And you see now at the pinnacle that you sit collectively, that confusion is at an all-time high. Everyone seeking to find someone to guide them out of the confusion. And yet the only place for such relief is within you. In learning to understand that you must learn to train your mind and your body to be your servants and not your masters. In the role where you are subjective to the whims of the body, you find yourself suffering to the degree that you are orchestrating the actions of the body in the forms of training it properly, feeding it properly, exercising it properly, and using your authority over it, as it is designed to be so, In that process, you begin to liberate your awareness away from subjectivity, from sensual stimulation, that is the stimulation of your senses, as the source of your well-being. For the source of your well-being is inherent in what you are in consciousness. If you understand this, then you can move to the position of beginning to orchestrate change over the functions of your body. This includes all functions of the body, from the conditions of the muscles to the conditions of the nerves and organs and glands. Your awareness has divine authority over them through the specifics of applying fundamental basics to regain that authority and control. Secondarily, the confusion of thought that exists within the minds of so many of you, seeking to find the information about how you can be more fulfilled outside of you, does not give you the understanding of what is within you. And your body is not much like anything other than a dog or a cat, or you might say a puppet, that you can orchestrate the strings of the puppet. And every function of this form is designed to be amenable to and serve you. And so too are the process of thought. But we are not here for that particular avenue of understanding today. We are simply here to awaken you to the realization that the only individual in this world that will truly understand how to orchestrate the conditions of your body is you yourself, through your experience of and with it, by the way you treat it or mistreat it, how you make it function. For you determine its function. You determine its function as you awaken to this information and understanding, that the body will follow and comply with what you direct it. And you may direct it to do terrible things to it. You may put poisons in that body and toxins in it. You may expose it to dangerous things. You may do things with it that put its life at risk. But understand that it will simply obey, as that is its function. So you wonder, how then can someone take their own life? Well, they cannot take their own life. They can simply get rid of the life of the body, but you can never take or get rid of your life. But the body will comply with whatever you instruct it. As you come to the awareness that you can instruct it to be still, that you can instruct it to be in joy, you can instruct it to be in peace. You can instruct it to eat or drink what you would have it eat or drink. And what you shall direct your body to do will affect it like no other on this planet. You may defer responsibility for the training that you need to engage in over your body to another, but there is no other that will ever understand the body that you are in, for that body is uniquely coded to your vibrational awareness. And so no other can fully understand nor comprehend the true nature of your body. Only you can do this. And this is designed specifically that you gain a full understanding of your authority over matter, beginning with the immediacy of your own flesh, the flesh that you inhabit, the animal that you have joined with in this very temporal journey through time and space. The beginning of training the body is very simple. It allows you to gain an awareness of the authority that you truly do possess, each one of you, no matter what your existing situation or circumstances is. You have an authority over that body. And the authority always begins with a breath, a conscious breath that you may take. The training of the body begins with your breath, where you retrain your body to liberate yourself from subjectivity to its senses, subjectivity to tastes and smells and sounds, to no longer be manipulated, directed, and controlled by the external elements of the environment. That does not mean that you do not enjoy them, but you simply are no longer subjective to them. You can say that is the smell of a rose and not get lost in the smell of the rose. Oh, that tastes good, and not get lost in the taste. You must understand, restoring your authority over your body is essential in restoring your authority over your mind. But the body is always first for many. For some, it is the mind, but for many here today, it is for authority over the body. The action of your breath, when you take your breath deliberately, is an assertion of authority over the very life in this body. When you take a breath, you are asserting an authority over flesh. And some of you may say, well, that is just me breathing the body. Well, who is this you that is telling the body to breathe? That is not a physical entity. That is an awareness observing the effects of its interaction with the flesh. The higher mysteries of creation become available when the form is subjugated to service on your behalf, rather than you being subjugated to its service of pleasure of the senses exclusively. Again, this does not mean that you do not experience pleasure. It simply means that you no longer remain subjective to it or any form of it. You are conscious and mindful, for there are pleasures that you can give the body that may seem to be very good, but then turn out to be very bad. The most obvious one is a substance you call alcohol that seems to start out making you feel very good, but oftentimes later on it feels very bad. And again, the senses of your body can only loan themselves to experiencing what they experience. Your body cannot consider the future anything other than the past of what is experienced plays in this. But understand that your body cannot dissent with you when you understand your authority over it. So if you choose to put something into it that may seem good at first, but has a destructive result to it, only you can direct the form to change. And many of you have said to us sometimes, but I cannot stop doing this. And we say to you, that is not true. You are just not stopping your body from doing this. You have not recognized that you are the authority over the body. When we came to this one today, it was very simple. The training of your body is the foundation for the pursuit of higher wisdom and knowledge, which many proclaim to seek, but few actually follow in the steps necessary for themselves to achieve that. Coming to the understanding that the instrument that you reside in right now is designed to follow and execute direction from you. And you see this in the playing, in the excitations of games that are now evolving, where you see people doing extraordinary things with their physical bodies. Well, who is directing the body to do that? It is the sentient awareness, you, the soul inside. As we said, there is no other that can know your body as you can know your body. There is no other, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, the healers, the teachers. None can know your body as you are here to know your body. to understand your authority over it begins to move you into a place of what we call freedom to create, the ability to have conscious awareness over what will or will not occur in your experience by your direction. In the process of training your body, teaching it what to eat, what to drink, when to sleep, when to play, fundamental things, when to rest. In teaching it these fundamental things, you will discover that the body will become amenable to your directions, as equally as it becomes amenable to the directions of actions that harm it, that you have permitted it to do so. It will also equally turn its attention to actions that are amenable to behaviors and conditions that will improve its well-being, enhance its strength and power, and make it a very useful servant to you, one that does not suffer. Fundamental things like the organs and nerves and glands in your body, these fundamental things you have authority over, but that authority must be claimed consciously. It will not be granted to you as a blessing of some form, although there have been instances where experiences of great suffering have compelled one to awaken to a better expression of consciousness over their body. But for most, this must be a consciously undertaken journey that you begin to assert authority and will and reason of a noble kind over the functions of that physical form that you currently inhabit. Look at your body. It is an instrument that you can say to it, raise your hands and lower your hands, smile. You can direct it. And the mere action of directing hands or face muscles or arms or legs is inclusive of all other parts of the body. They too will follow suggestion as you provide it for them. And even the substances of food and water operate as suggestions upon the consciousness of that form. You train your body with every move you make. You train your body with every food, every drink, and every act that you perform with it. You are teaching it one way or another, and at any time you may teach it another or another or another. You need not leave your body trapped in a behavior that you have the authority to change. For once the body is entrained in an action, its tendency is to say, yes, I will fulfill this for you as you have trained me to do this. Now you have many systems that have evolved upon this world in an attempt to end your suffering that is caused by your unwillingness or inability to recognize that you are the awareness that is the authority over your body. And so many of you defer to outside agencies or mechanisms to try and find an authority that will direct your body the way that you ought to be directing it yourself. Again, our focus today is primarily on the training of the body. And the beginning of this is always with the breath. And as simple as it may seem that you can tell your body to breathe, that is a great authority over its life. And it loans itself to saying, if you tell me to breathe this way, I shall breathe this way. If you tell me to place your hands together, I will do so. If you tell me to close my eyes, I will do so. Your body will follow your instructions. It will also follow your instructions that you gave it precedingly. In other words, if you had trained your body to function in a specific manner, to eat certain ways or drink certain ways, then it will continue to follow its training just as it follows the way it has been taught to walk or think or speak. It has been taught these things. And from the perspective of your awareness, you may undo all of these behaviors of your body. You can undo, understanding first that you are the authority, that the body may want to go into its old ways of functioning contrary to what you desire. But it is at that point you must make that distinction that this is the body I've trained to do these things, and now I'm going to train it to not do these things, and there will be some resistance from it. And you simply kindly and gently say, no, this is not what we are going to do anymore. We are going to eat this. We are going to drink this. We're going to rest like this. We're going to play like this. And you continually re-educate your body. And even the functions within the body, you have a relationship with. Although that will become more apparent to you as you gain the fundamentals of learning that you can direct the body to sit, to walk, to talk, to stand, to eat, to not eat, to play, to rest, that you direct it to do these things. You can direct it to do all things. And as you gain understanding that this is the case, now your body is like the puppet on the strings that you can now orchestrate to go where you need it to go, to be as you need it to be, to do as you need it to do. And is that not the beginning of freedom? When you first descended into form, a very, very long time ago, when you first descended into form, you had complete authority. Your lives were exceedingly long because of the nature of what you were. As you descended further into the excitation of the form, you diminished your authority over it. And now what we propose is the reverse, that you elevate your awareness to assume an authority over the form rather than subjectivity to it. The stairs to what you call heaven, the stairs to what you call freedom, the stairway to what you call peace, is upwards in consciousness, not descending further into the body, not descending further into what you call dependence. The authority over your body is designed for you and you alone. It is not intended that you would defer the authority over your mind or your body to any outside authority when you, as a divine entity, already possess such an authority. Begin this process of being mindful that you direct the body, even if it would insist that I should eat this or drink this, and you know that it should not, and you say to it, no, you will not. Understand that you are its authority, and the body has been trained to do these things, and it will seek to do what it has been trained to do. And you must say to it, no, we will not do this, and we will not do this. And it will fight, and it will fume, and it will resist until you finally, persistently begin to keep it into the new expression. And over a very short period of time, as you become more conscious of your authority, the resistance of your body will diminish rapidly. As you become aware of your authority over it, the resistance of the body will diminish rapidly. And this process of authority will grow and expand quite quickly as you gain a sense of awareness that your body truly is your servant and not your master. You are the authority, and this you must remember. You must awaken from your sleep. You must not remain asleep. Although there is no rule that says you must awaken. But certainly awakening is far more preferential than to needless suffering or dependence on something that cannot serve you. And all of the systems you've created that would seek to liberate you from your suffering cannot liberate you from your suffering but to a small degree. And all of the things that you've manifested that would seek to end the suffering that you feel in that body will only lead to temporary relief. For you are the divine authority and agent over the body that you reside in. And to assume that authority once again is to give yourself the freedom that you desire from the world, that you expect the world to give you, you already possess, that you expect the world to take care of you, can already do this. But the simple, fundamental steps begin with the single breath. And the remembrance that any time your body is drawn to do something that you know is not good for it, to simply assert your authority and say, no, come, we'll take you away from this. And as simple as this may sound, it is the absolute truth. Ultimately, it is the truth. No matter what mechanism you use to substitute your own authority for, eventually you will have to come back to the authority that is you. You will have to return to what you are. That is the way. And you may choose to suffer for many lifetimes, or you may choose to end that suffering in but a single lifetime. It can be done. We see it quite frequently now. There is no time. There is no time in your life. There is time that is measured in terms of this physical world, but there is no time in your life. You have heard many say that when they get to a certain age of the body, that they say, but I do not feel old, they say. I do not feel old at all. That is because you are ageless, you are timeless. That is what you are. But your suffering can be as ageless and timeless as you are if you choose to stay within it. And do you not think that it is time to end your suffering? It is time to end your suffering. To remember that you are the authority. Begin the process of asserting your good and loving authority over your body. Reestablish the awakening in your mind and heart of who you are and who you are with and what you are here to do. This is all. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. It's hi, Adam. Hi, Allison. Hello, Sandra. Hi, Adam. Can I ask the Elohim on why exactly are the 72 angels of the Shempapus have the suffix El attached to their name? What type of magical operation is that spiritual system based on? What you call the magical is simply the natural from our perspective. The phrasing of specific terms are designed to utilize and structure the function of energy in service of its creator. The very nature of the phrase Elohim, there is a vibrational manifestation in these words that determines that certain effects will unfold as a deliberate assertion of creation from the perspective of a conscious entity, aware and awake of its role in the act of creation. And every sound, every form, every thought loans itself to a vibrational energy that asserts an effect upon the realm of creation. Wow. Great question, Adam. Thank you so much. Question from Jana of Joy. I like that, Jana. Jana of Joy. Do we orchestrate the body functioning through breath, attention, and intention in combination with relaxation, or do we instruct it by speaking the wanted results? They're saying all of the above are instruments that you must learn to play to understand what each function does in terms of its effect over your body, to direct a breath of your body, to direct a thought towards your body, to direct the body to be in a certain state of repose, to become conscious and aware of the effects that you bear upon the form that you are inhabiting. Because until you understand the role that you have over the effects of the form that you contain within your awareness, until you understand that the realms of a greater expansion of creation are unavailable to you. In fact, they are unavailable to most because they have not learned the very fundamental step of how to master the servant. So the greater scope of creation becomes limited or restricted to many because of their lack of understanding. But any of those things will seek to give you an awareness of the level of authority that you can cultivate through that function, through that thought, or through that direction towards the body. Wow, thank you. Great question, Jana of Joy. Question from Marjorie. I see the Earth's ancient wisdom DNA starting to wake up, and the Earth babies and aspects are uniting. Is this part of what was being done 3 days ago? I'm told to tell you yes, but understand your role in this is not simply as an observer. Many of you watch in fascination the dance of things around you, unaware of the very role and effect that you can bear upon those things unfolding around you. Very few of you understand this, which is why you find yourself often in subjectivity to some other system or person or philosophy, because you do not understand your creative function in this expression of being, well, in this creative realm. When you come to the awareness of your role in these things, there will be no other who could dominate nor determine your experience nor reality. Wow, thank you. Great question, Marjorie. Question from Nancy. I have had an appetite lately. I want to maintain muscle. Is my body changing for ascension? You must understand what is the function of that body. What are you determining your purpose as being? Many of you determine your purpose based on what you have told it ought to be. Very few of you connecting to what it actually is. But the process of authority, a body ought to be pleasing to you, that when you look in a mirror, that it does please you. And it is the way it is because of how you are interacting with it, what you are doing with it or not doing with it. When you come to an understanding of how to transform or transcend conditions of the body that are not pleasing to you, you will gain the knowledge of your authority, for that is what you are doing, all of you. You are gaining the knowledge of your authority over matter. And it always begins with the immediacy of the flesh that you inhabit, the animal that you possess in the act of creation for this duration of a lifetime. But please understand, you are here to understand that you have absolute and total authority over its function at a certain point in your awakening. And when you realize that, like the very first time you may have learned to do something new, and you had a very difficult time doing it, and you were getting frustrated because it was not working, but you kept applying yourself, and suddenly you were able to do it all of a sudden, and suddenly you're getting, I can do this now. So if you find anything about your body that is not pleasing, it is not because of a fault or a flaw in the body. It is a process of your mastery, a process of your learning that you are the authority over the servant. Understand, you are here to learn this. First and foremost, when you have authority over the form that you inhabit, you will see that likewise the same authority exists in terms of how you interact with the world around you, that it shapes and molds itself around the vibrational nature of your consciousness, as does your body. Do not be discouraged because you are in a process of learning, as many of you are, but do be conscious that you are in a process of learning, that you are in a position where you are reasserting your authority over matter, that you are awakening yourself to the authority you have over it. Be delighted in this. Be delighted that you are on that path, that you are learning this. Do not be frustrated, but you are learning this. For those of you that struggle with such functions and behaviors that are very displeasing to you, that are very harmful to your body, do not be discouraged, for you are in the process where you can become aware that you can and indeed do have the ability to master the functions of what your body does or what it does not do. You are learning that authority, so be not discouraged. Wow, thank you. Got time for 2 more questions. Adam's asking, can you ask the Elohim on if it is true that Yahweh or the Abrahamic God created all the Elohim? If not, who? What created them? And if so, why do they use his divine name to summon? As we have already said, you must understand that the vibrational nature of words manifested into form creates certain conditions. The manifestation of our consciousness can be attributed to the very consciousness that manifested you. There is no distinguishing feature at any point in the process of consciousness to separate your awareness from what created you is impossible. But to make a distinction that you are aware of that awareness is possible. So you are asking if we are a product that is manifested by that which you call the Abrahamic God. And we would simply say to you, no, we simply joined with it. It resonated with us and we joined in purpose with it. Resonance draws things together. It brings things together to work together. So both the creator and the creation are one and the same if you understand this principle, that when our energy was invoked with the spoken word, we simply joined in response because of the resonance. As you are here with us today, because you are in resonance with us. We did not create you. We did not make any of you, but you came in response to the resonance of that frequency, and so too do we. Wow, thank you, Adam. Great questions. Awesome questions today, guys. Yeah, if you're liking the content on this show, remember to like these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, support this channel through our Patreon page, patreon.com. The link is underneath the description box. We are at a very powerful time of ascension on this planet. All of us. It's time to awaken ourselves. This channel focuses mostly on ascension and how to get there. And the beings that come through are in resonance with that purpose. If you want to learn more about how to access higher levels of information, you can join up and join our master classes. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and check out our master classes that we have our upcoming season in just a few weeks. So I hope you'll come and join us for the master class and learn to connect to the information that's available to everybody once you learn how to attune your awareness to a different frequency. It literally is that simple. The practice of getting there might be a little bit difficult. It's like watching how easy it looks to drive a car, and you've never driven a car until you get behind the wheel, and then you find the difficulty. But there's a process that you'll go through, that you gain the experience from your interaction in the courses, where you come to a knowing of who you are and what you're capable of. Yeah, it's wonderful. So please consider going to my website and checking out those courses and classes. And if you've got any questions or concerns about anything you've heard today, please leave them in the comment section below. And we get to all comments and questions. We never miss one. I want to wish you all much love. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Oh, pardon me. And tomorrow, Saturday, May the 21st, there's a being by the name of Julian coming in. Julian. I'm trying to pronounce it properly. I keep mispronouncing it. It's going to be, the meditation is going to be entitled Awaken Your Soul. And I'm really excited about that. So I hope you'll come join me tomorrow at 10 a.m. on Supernatural Saturday for the meditation portion of our weekly show. I want to wish you all much love. Have yourselves a wonderful day. And thank you for the Elohim for being present with us today. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.